The German Chancellor Angela Merkel has called on European countries to agree a common approach towards China. In particular, Chancellor Merkel says Europe needs a unified policy on the rollout of the next generation 5G mobile network. Some German lawmakers want to exclude China's Huawei from 5G contracts, following warnings from the United States about the potential for espionage. Huawei denies the allegations made by Washington. Well, for more, we can go now live to Berlin to speak to Euronews journalist Jessica Salz. Morning to you, Jessica. This has been a prickly issue for the German Chancellor, not just at home in Germany, but now also on the Europe-wide scale as well, hasn't it?
Yes, well, since the very beginning of discussions of expanding Germany's 5G network, word from the Chancellery has been that excluding the Chinese firm Huawei from these plans will not only be sending the wrong diplomatic message to China, but would also be bad for business. At the Conservative Party Congress last Saturday, the vast majority of Conservatives voted in favour of a proposal to expand 5G in Germany that does not exclude Huawei, but this proposal does include a guarantee of watertight security measures and also measures to ensure and guarantee that a foreign country does not compromise the security of Germany's 5G network. But despite this, there still remains a lot of concerns from within the German government and parliament. Prominent Conservative foreign policy MP Norbert Röttgen said, "We cannot leave the expansion of Germany's 5G network in the hands of the Chinese communist state." This despite the fact that, of course, Huawei is a privately owned company. Angela Merkel has been at pains to try and diffuse concerns not only here in Germany but also in Europe. Here's what she said to the Bundestag in Berlin yesterday.
If I may tell you very openly, I see one of the biggest dangers, I want to call it that way, or at least worries, is that individual countries in Europe will have their own policies towards China and then mixed signals will be sent out. That would be disastrous, not for China, but for us in Europe. It's undisputed that we need high security standards for 5G expansion, but we need to discuss this with the other European partners, just like we're discussing it among ourselves.
Jessica, if some of these concerns over Huawei can't be resolved, what other options does Germany have?
Well, Rosie, the thing is that Huawei at the moment is already part of the physical infrastructure of the 4G network in Germany. So to replace it would mean to dismantle parts of these components, which would take time and money at a time when Germany's really in a race to try and expand 5G across the country as soon as possible. But also the network operators who have secured bids to provide 5G in Germany also have a different approaches when it comes to partnering with Huawei. Vodafone Germany has said that it will take a dual vendor approach. It plans to use gear from both Huawei and Sweden's Ericsson. But one of its main rivals, Deutsche Telekom, which was one of the first companies to first bring 5G to Germany, did so at the time with Huawei technologies. However, Deutsche Telekom within the last week or so has made a massive turnaround on this, saying that over the next 2 years it plans to remove all the components of its core network for 5G over the next 2 years, all the Huawei components with components from other countries. Now, Deutsche Telekom is saying that it's just doing this as part of a routine replacement of the core network components, which it has to do every 2 to 5 years anyway. However, this is being interpreted as the company being slightly spooked by, of course, comments made from the United States warning against using infrastructure by Huawei. So the diplomatic approach to using infrastructure from the Chinese company Huawei is, of course, very complicated. And as we see, the approach used by the network operators itself is also far from straightforward.
Jessica Salz, our correspondent live in Berlin. Thank you very much.